Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my flawless foundation routine. So I last did one of these about a year ago, so it's pretty outdated now. So I wanted to show you guys all of my updated foundations and techniques and that kind of thing. And then also as well, if I ever have my foundation already on previous to the video, or if I kind of skip through that bit a little bit quicker because I need to focus on something else of the video, then I can always link it in the down bar and direct you guys to that so you can see a more in-depth view of how I do my foundation. So I've already cleansed, toned and moisturised, that's super important, and I've let my moisturiser sink in for probably about 10 minutes. So first things first, I'm going to go in with a primer, and my favourite primer at the moment is the L'Oreal Lume Magique Pure Light Primer. So this primer is great for giving that kind of like luminous glow to the skin. As it says, it is a pure light primer, so it reflects light to give that kind of like really gorgeous dewy glow to the skin. Okay, so my next step is foundation, and the foundation that I've chosen for this video is the Bourjois Healthy Mix Foundation. This is one of my favourite foundations of the moment. It's perfect for my skin type and it also gives a really flawless finish as well. Some of the other foundations that I've been absolutely loving is the L'Oreal Lume Magique Light Infusing Foundation. This is the foundation that matches the primer that I've just used. This one is super glowy, it's really gorgeous, and it just gives that kind of like all over like dewy glowy finish. So another foundation I've been loving is the Collection Lasting Perfection Ultimate Wear Foundation. I only discovered this a few weeks ago, but I absolutely love it. It's perfect for my skin type, even though it does say that it's oil free as well, so I think this would be perfect for both dry and slightly oilier skin types as well. And finally, another foundation that I've been loving, this one is slightly different. This is the Gosh Foundation Drops. So this one, with it being a foundation drop, is kind of like a more liquidy consistency than other foundations, but it's really perfect for giving that really like moisturised, glowy look, as all of these foundations are, because I personally really like that glowy finish. I have also actually done first impressions of all these foundations. I only just realised I didn't pick them for those reasons, but as I was saying them I was like, I think I've done a review on this. Pretty sure I've done a review of this, and I'm pretty sure I've done a review on this too. So I think they're all first impression review and demo, so I will apply a primer to one half of my face and not the other side so you guys can get a gist of how it applies differently with the primer or not. I apply it for you there on camera, give you my first impression, and then I also come back later on in the day as well to tell you how it's worn throughout the day, so I'll link all of those down below. Moving on to applicators, my favourite brush to apply foundation is the Real Techniques buffing brush, because you can really buff the product into your skin, work it in really well, and it gives that kind of really like airbrushed flawless finish. I also really love the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. This is great for applying most of my foundations, but today I'm going to use it to blend out my concealer. So again, I've also done a review and full face demonstration using the Real Techniques brushes and products, and I will link that in the down bar below. And I've also done a first impression review and demo just on this Miracle Complexion Sponge, and again I will link that down below. So I've just pumped out a small amount of that foundation, and then what I like to do is kind of get a really even coat across my whole brush, really push it into the foundation so the foundation gets into the bristles, so that when I work it into the skin it really buffs it in. I'm going to start on my cheek, and I'm just going to start by stippling all the product across my cheek. I always work kind of cheek, forehead, that's just my personal preference, but you can apply it however you want. And while I'm buffing it on as well, I also kind of buff and pull, so I'm not just kind of stippling up and down in dotting motions. I kind of press down onto my face and drag, if you kind of see what I'm saying. I'm not rubbing first, I'm pushing and pulling to really start kind of pushing that foundation into my skin. And then after I kind of have an even coat, that's when I'll start using circular motions to really buff the product in, making sure I get underneath my jawline and around my chin, because we don't want a mark of demarcation. And then once that side's completed, I'll then move on to my other cheek, and again I will start kind of stippling, pushing and dragging across my entire side of my face, and then I can start really working and buffing the product in. And then finally I'm going to move on to my forehead. At this point you really want to make sure that you buff the foundation into your hairline, because again, like the jaw, we don't want to see any marks of demarcation across where our like scalp meets our forehead. Okay, so there is one layer of foundation on my face. This is quite a good amount of coverage for me usually. Sometimes if I have a bit more redness around my cheeks, or if I'm wearing a lighter coverage foundation, I will go in with a second coat just across my cheeks. Sometimes people think that when they need to do have extra cover in certain areas, they'll take across the whole face, but you don't need to do that at all. You can just apply a bit of extra coverage to certain areas, or of course you can go in afterwards and apply some concealer if you only have kind of like small blemishes and that kind of thing. That way the areas that you don't necessarily need to cover up will still shine through the foundation and give you that really, really natural look. And then you will still have that coverage in the areas that you want it, but you won't have that kind of mask of foundation across your face. Next, I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm going to be using the Bourjois Healthy Mix Concealer. I am pretty lucky because I rarely get blemishes on my face that I want to cover up, but if you do, then you can go in with a concealer now that matches your foundation. We want it to match your foundation because we don't want to highlight those areas. Instead, we want it to match and blend in so it looks as natural as possible. But I am going to skip that step and I'm going to go straight in with highlighting my under eyes. So I'm just going to take a small amount of that concealer on the back of my hand. And this concealer is in the shade 51, so it is a few shades lighter than my foundation. So I'm going to go in with a Real Techniques Deluxe Crease brush. And I'm going to create a V shape under my eye. Taking it in from the inner corner, down the side of my nose, and then along the side of my eye, and then I'll just fill in that area to make that triangle shape. And then other areas that you might want to highlight are between your eyebrows and on your forehead. So again, I'm just going to create that small triangle shape down the centre of your nose and also on your chin as well. So I'm looking pretty crazy at the moment, but this is where my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge comes in. I far prefer this to blending out my concealer than any brush because this blends it out really, really flawlessly, and it also soaks up any excess product. So again, you're not going to end up with cake face. So I'm going to start on my chin. I'm just going to stipple that foundation. This time I'm not going to stipple and drag because we don't want to move the foundation underneath. I just want to bounce that product straight on top of the foundation. And then down my nose and up to my forehead. And then I'm going to turn it to the pointed side so I can get right in the corner of my eye. And I'm going to start blending out that under eye concealer. And then any excess product from the corner of my eye, I'm going to move onto my eyelid to cover up any extra like veins and darkness and that kind of thing. Okay, so I do look a little bit weird now with that highlighted centre of my face, but it is all going to come together a-okay as the look moves on because I will contour and bronze and balance the whole look out. I am going to be doing a separate video on how to bronze, contour and highlight just because otherwise this video is going to be super, super long. So now that we have that highlight concealer in place, it's really important to set it because we don't want it to move throughout the day, and we also don't want it to settle into any fine lines underneath our eyes. So to settle that in place, I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution Ultra Contour Palette, and then I'm just going to take a small powder brush. This contour kit is absolutely amazing. It has every shade you could ever need in here to bronze, contour and highlight. So I will be using this in my how to bronze, contour and highlight video. It's absolutely amazing. It's great quality even though it is a drugstore brand. Makeup Revolution specialises in dupes of higher end products, and so this one I think is supposed to be a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit. So to set that concealer in place, I'm just going to go in with this banana shade right here. So I'm just going to take a small amount of that on the brush, tap off the excess, and then start stippling it on to my under eye area, again in that triangle motion. I don't want to rub vigorously on the under eye area, one because it's a very delicate area and we need to be careful with it, and two because I don't want to move that concealer around because it's not set in place yet. And then I'm also going to put a small amount of that powder where we highlighted through the centre of our face because we want to set those areas in place again, but this banana shade is really great for keeping that area highlighted. A great tip for those of us who wear glasses, always make sure to set this area here just on the bridge of your nose, because I wear glasses and I notice that throughout the day my makeup always used to wear off in this area here, and it's so annoying. But now I always make sure to set this area of my face and my makeup hardly ever comes off on my glasses. And so that is the end of my foundation routine. It does look really odd at the minute because I don't have any of the other makeup on, and then once I apply that the look will all come together and it will look really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup and then I will be back. I'm back and here is the rest of my makeup. So I'm going to finish it off with a setting spray, and my favourite one is the MAC Fix Plus. This is my favourite because not only does it kind of fix your makeup in place, but you can also use it as a primer because it's very moisturising, and it also adds that kind of like lovely glow and settles down any powders. Or for a cheaper alternative, I like the Makeup Revolution Pro Fix Amazing Makeup Fixing Spray. This one I find isn't quite as good as the MAC Fix Plus, but it does the job for fixing your makeup in place, and it does kind of settle down any powder and that kind of thing as well. So I'm just going to spray about 3 or 4 sprays across my entire face. I will of course link all of my videos related to this one in the down bar, all of my foundation reviews, brush reviews, sponge reviews, that kind of thing. I'm going to be redoing my how to bronze, contour and highlight video like I said, so stay tuned for videos like that. I'm also going to be doing a hooded eyes tutorial, a couple of those, and that kind of thing. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, it really helps me out. And of course, to see more videos from me, please subscribe to my channel using that big red button, or there will be a link up here in the corner of the screen that will take you to my channel page. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!